Hey, what's up, guys? We're back with another NFL video. Today, we're going to be covering our 2021 to 2022 playoff predictions for the NFL. Um, First off, I want to say if your team isn't on this list, I'm sorry. These are just the teams I think will make it to the playoffs. It was really hard to decide. It was honestly a last minute thing for me to actually add the Packers onto this list. There is news breaking today that Aaron Rodgers is planning on returning to Green Bay and will play for them this year. So that kind of gave me the go ahead to say, okay, yeah, the Packers are going to be contenders again with Aaron Rodgers. So there's that right there. But before I jump into these predictions, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Really helps out the channel. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So I had the number one seeds as the Cleveland Browns and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A lot of people think I'm too high on the Browns. I think they have the most complete roster in the NFL. I think they have a top 5 offensive line. I think they have a top 10 wide receiver core. I think they have the best running back duo in the league in Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Their defense is fantastic. It only got better this offseason. And honestly, I like Kevin Stefanski as a head coach. I think he did an excellent job last year. Baker Mayfield has shown a lot of maturing in the last year or so. I think he's really starting to become more of a leader. So I'm really high on the Browns. I think they're going to be an amazing team in 2021. The Bucks. Do I really need to explain the Bucks? Like, they're a damn good team. They were obviously the Super Bowl winner last year. I don't see any reason why they would really regress this year, unless Tom Brady for some reason starts to show his age. But as for the rest of the seeding, it was really hard for me to decide. Ultimately, I decided for the AFC wild cards, I would do the Patriots, Chargers, and Ravens. I think they're all going to take a pretty big step forward from last year, especially the Chargers and Patriots. Both of them had losing records last year, but I think they both had incredible off seasons and are going to take big strides forward. There's that. NFC wise, looks pretty different from last year, actually. I think the 49ers will be a lot healthier this year. Hopefully, injuries won't completely plague that team. And I think they return to their form in 2019 when they were a 13-3 team. I predicted them to go 12-5. I think they could very well do that. For the 3 seed, this is another one a lot of people think I'm too high on. I have the Washington football team. Their defense is fantastic. It is definitely a championship caliber defense. This is a defense that can win them a Super Bowl. Their offensive line looks a lot better as well. They have incredible weapons. Antonio Gibson, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated running backs in the league. And Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel are, in my opinion, an amazing wide receiver duo. Can't forget about Logan Thomas as well. Really, if they get a quarterback, I'd probably be even higher on them. Like, Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think he'll be serviceable for them. But if they got a guy like Deshaun Watson, this team's going to be unstoppable. And then for number 4, I previously had the Minnesota Vikings here, but with the news today about Aaron Rodgers returning, I personally think that's going to be enough for the Packers to win the division, because I previously had them going 8-9 with Jordan Love. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to win them another 3 or 4 games, and I think it'll be just enough for them to beat Minnesota out of that division. But Minnesota will still have enough wins for a wild card spot. I think they'll still have 10 or 11 wins. So I had them at the number 6 seed. The Rams I have at number 5. I really debated having them be over the 49ers, but honestly, I think the Niners, I think they have a much better, I guess much more balanced offense. I like their offensive line a lot more too. Their run game is really going to help them. Where the Rams lost Cam Akers, that's going to be a big loss for them. Their run game is not going to be as good as last year, or even the year before that. And I think the 49ers run game will be one of the best in football again. Then number 7, I'm one of the few believers in the Panthers. I think they had an incredible offseason. Their defense looks much, much better than last year. I think it could be a top 10, top 15 defense. I think they have a top 10 receiving core in the league. I think they have the best running back in the league in Christian McCaffrey. And I believe in Sam Darnold. I think it'd be awesome if they ended up getting a guy like Deshaun Watson, because you just can't pass that up. But I believe in Sam Darnold as well. I think he can be serviceable and help them make it to the playoffs. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the actual matchups here. So starting on the AFC side, we have the Bills against the Ravens. I think the Bills are the much better team. They definitely have better weapons. Ravens are a very, very well coached team. I'm gonna give this one to the Bills. I think they're just overall a much better team. Yeah, that's really all I've got to say about that. I think they're a much better team. I think Josh Allen is a top 5 quarterback in the league. Their defense, I think, will get back to being top 10 in the league. And the Ravens are extremely well coached. I think they're going to be one of the best coached teams in the league. But I think the Bills are too good to lose to the Ravens here. Week 3. Now, you guys know how much I like the Chargers this offseason, but I'm sorry, I do not think the Chargers are going to be able to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. Oh, sorry, guys. Copy that. I think the Chiefs, because Patrick Mahomes' playoff experience already is so much more than the Chargers have. Justin Herbert doesn't have much playoff experience yet. I don't think their defense is quite playoff ready either. Plus, we don't know how Brandon Staley will do in the playoffs as a head coach yet. We'll have to see how he handles the pressure. So for right now, I'm giving this one to the Chiefs. Then we have the Titans and Patriots. I don't think I can rule out the Patriots here. Bill Belichick, he always has a good game plan. He'll figure out a way to get the Patriots the win. The Titans are an excellent team. Especially late season and postseason Derrick Henry, he's just unreal. But I think Bill Belichick is going to have a plan for him, and I think the Patriots will win this one. Then going on to the NFC side, I got to give this one to the 49ers. 49ers, I think, have still, even despite the Panthers' defense getting so much better this offseason, I just don't think it's quite on the 49ers level yet. 49ers have a much better offensive line. Plus, even if it is still Jimmy Garoppolo starting at that point in the season, he at least has more experience than Sam Darnold. Has been a little bit more proven than Sam Darnold. And I don't think people realize how important a good defense and offensive line is in the playoffs. So the 49ers will win that one. And then next game, I'm giving this one to the Washington football team. This one I really debated about having the Vikings win, because I think the Vikings are a very capable team. I think their defense will be a lot better than last year. I think Dalvin Cook is a top 3 running back in the league. Justin Jefferson, in my mind, is a borderline top 5 wide receiver. He's easily a top 10. Adam Thielen is also an incredible wide receiver. Main thing I'm questioning with that team is Mike Zimmer. Is Mike Zimmer going to be, a good head coach? Because I've kind of looked at Mike Zimmer as kind of a middle of the road type of coach. Like hasn't been like the worst coach in the league, but also hasn't been, up there with the Andy Reids and Sean Paytons and Sean McVay, those types of coaches. So we'll see how he does in the playoffs. But for now, I'm gonna give that one to the Washington football team. Then we have the Packers and Rams. This one's tough. The Rams and Packers played in the playoffs last year, and the Packers won, but the Rams kept it pretty competitive. I think if the Rams would have had more of a run game this year, like if Cam Akers stayed healthy and they had a better O-line, I'd probably give this one to the Rams. But I think the Packers are going to be focusing on the pass defense so much, and I don't think the Rams are going to be able to get their offense started well enough in this game, and I think the Packers end up winning it. So going on to the divisional round, we have the Bills and the Browns. I'm gonna give this one to the Browns. I think they are. Again, I just think they're an incredible team. Like, I think they're the most complete team in all of football, not just the AFC. I think they are extremely well coached. I think Kevin Stefanski could emerge as possibly a top 5 coach this year. That's how much I like Stefanski. Excellent coach. I think their secondary with Denzel Ward, Greedy Williams. I just forgot their safeties' names. Grant Delpit, and I want to say they got a safety this year as well. But and John Johnson. Their secondary is going to be much better than last year, and I'm not sure the Bills are going to have all the answers for it. I think that game will go down to the wire, but I think the Browns pull it off. Then we have the Chiefs and Patriots. I'm going to give this one to the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs will go ahead and advance to the conference championship. Bill Belichick, like I said, is an amazing coach, possibly the best coach in the league. But, I mean, Andy Reid is also one of the best coaches in the league. And I think the Chiefs have the much more talented team right now. The Patriots have a lot of talent, but I mean, I think the Chiefs have a better offensive line. I think they have better weapons overall. They definitely have the much better quarterback, pretty obviously there. And as of recently, I think the Chiefs have more playoff experience than this current Patriots team. Yeah, I think it'll be enough to knock out the Patriots. Then we have the Bucks and the 49ers. This is another situation that, okay, I don't think people realize how important experience in the playoffs is. Tom Brady has more experience in the playoffs than anybody, obviously. And he's been really good at, you know, giving that playoff experience to the rest of his team. And I mean, Bruce Arians comes with a great game plan. I'm gonna give this one to the Bucks. I think the Bucks win this. Okay. Then we have the Washington football team and the Packers. Guys, this is tough. This is tough here. Um, I know how damn good Aaron Rodgers is, and that it's a good offense there. But let's be real. Defense wins championships. And in my opinion, the Washington football team has the best defense in the league. I I will not go back on that one. I think the Washington football team has the best defense in the league. I'm giving this one to Washington. That's such a tough one for me. I don't like counting out Aaron Rodgers because he's so damn good, but I think Washington could cause some issues for Aaron Rodgers. So then moving on to the conference championships, we have a repeat of last year with the Browns and Chiefs. Um, last year the Browns actually almost beat the Chiefs. I think they probably would have if it weren't for that one questionable call where I want to say, was it Baker Mayfield that was diving into the end zone and the ball got knocked out of bounds and caused a touchback? I don't remember who it was, but basically they fumbled the ball, went out of bounds, and it was a touchback, and basically screwed the Browns out of a touchdown. Otherwise, the Browns probably would have won that game. And I think this offseason, I think the Browns had a better offseason than the Chiefs. And it'll be Stefanski's second year as a head coach. I think I'm going to give this one to the Browns. It's going to be another incredible game to watch. I'm really excited for it, but I'm giving that one to the Browns. And then lastly, we have the Bucks and Washington football team. And I'm going to give this one to the Bucks. Again, I cannot stress enough how important playoff experience is. Playing in December and January is a totally different game than playing in October and November. Tom Brady just knows how to win in the playoffs. And the Bucks have a top 5 defense as well, in my opinion. I get that I was saying defense really wins championships. The Bucks also have a championship level defense. They do. And where the Washington football team is kind of lacking a little bit in the quarterback department, I'm just not sure it's going to be good enough to beat the Tom Brady Buccaneers. And again, it's very possible that the Packers even win that one. I'm so tempted to go back and say the Packers win it, but I think the defense pulls it out. But overall, I have the Cleveland Browns and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to the Super Bowl. Okay? Stay tuned for my next video, because that will actually be my breakdown and stat prediction for the Super Bowl. Basically, I will be predicting the really important stats of the Super Bowl. I'll be predicting, say, like Nick Chubb's rushing yards, basically the passing yards of each quarterback, basically any of the really important stats of the Super Bowl. I will also be predicting the actual score and who wins it. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Again, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell as well. You definitely do not want to miss the next video. So, again, thank you so much for watching. Smash that like button, and I will see you next time. Later.